Hey everyone, it's Dr. Ramani. Have you ever asked yourself, especially as a narcissistic relationship's on the rocks or as it comes to an end or is over, do you ever ask yourself, was this ever love? Let's break that question down because it's a big one. So your narcissistic relationship ended, or you're living in confusion and anguish about what a mess your relationship is, and you keep asking yourself, was this relationship ever love? I mean, I know we said it, but was this ever love? Now, it's a big question that a lot of survivors grapple with, and it can feel like more of a philosophical question than a psychological one. Was it love? Well, I think this question kind of is two pieces with two kinds of answers. The first part of this relates to you, right? Lots of folks, when a narcissistic relationship finally shows itself for what it is, will take the attitude of like, oh my God, I love this person. Like maybe there's something wrong with me that I love this person, or now I even doubt my ability to know what love is. No, I don't think that's true. In fact, I would argue that you had a conception and you know what love is, and you felt those feelings for this person. Listen, justification and rationalization, they draw off of, they come from the larger well of feeling love for someone. We want to show grace to people we love. We want to have compassion and forgiveness and flexibility. We are less likely to justify or rationalize the behavior of a stranger or someone we don't have feelings for, right? Love is basically justification cement. And what wasn't there to love, right? The toughest part of a narcissistic relationship, in a way, is that initially it feels like everything we ever wanted. It's connected and it can be exciting, it can be sexy. It can feel like you've met someone who gets you. And sadly, that's what trauma bonding often is, this metaphysical sense that somebody gets you. But when it's good, right, when a narcissistic relationship is good, it feels better than a regular relationship. So you fell in love, right? That's normal. Based on what was in front of you, based on what you were experiencing and feeling, you fell in love. Then, as always happens in narcissistic relationships, things started going wrong, and you get into the devalue phase. It may have happened in days, in weeks, in a few months. Hell, in some cases, a little bit more rare, it could take years. Sometimes things like alcohol may press the accelerator and also foster justifications. For example, the narcissistic person may say and do terrible things that come out when they're drinking. Some of it then may start to linger when they're sober, but then you may justify their behavior because you write it off to drinking, right? But it may be when the initial blush is off the relationship and real life starts to intrude. Real problems at work. A night finally comes up when you can't do exactly what they want to do. You question some of their shady behavior. They start questioning you about people in your life, whatever it is. However the relationship starts falling apart, the wheels will slowly come off. By the time most people go through the trauma-bonded justifying nightmare where you are left blaming yourself, doubting yourself, you wake up wondering if you're a codependent or a masochist or a fool, none of the above is true. Something real happened to you. And then that something real that happened to you, it changed. So, was it love? If it felt like love, it was. Don't judge that. I don't buy this idea that love lasts forever, by the way. I think it can come, and then I think it can end. And if it's not treated well, like any living thing, it dies. But what about on their side? Did they ever love you? That's really the question people in narcissistic relationships struggle with. And that is where it gets tricky. They say they did. Do we get to doubt that? I mean, initially when they're saying they love us, it seems believable. It may be that they're doing a lot or sharing a lot or there's just a lot. And it seems plausible that they're in love. And then it doesn't. And they may keep saying that they love you even when the narcissistic abuse is in full swing. And you may push back and say things like, There's no way you love me. Nobody who loves someone acts like this. But that's the tricky thing about love. It's like spicy food. Someone may eat something and no spice at all and says it tastes spicy to them. Someone else may eat something spicy and say, I'm not even tasting it. That's their reality, right? You got to try and not get caught up in the whole did they or didn't they love me. The fact is that your definition and their definition are different. For a narcissistic person, love is supply and status. For you, love may be connection, shared values, or something you can't even put into words. Ultimately, love, this thing called love, is serving different functions between you and your narcissistic partner. But that takes us back to the original question. Was it ever love? I get this question from clients all the time. Something I write about in my upcoming book is what happens to people when they look at old pictures from the narcissistic relationship and they see themselves smiling and even hugging and joyful in the picture as they sit next to the narcissistic person. I looked at some old pictures myself like this recently, and I had this experience. And then we look at ourselves in those pictures, or you might look at yourself in those pictures with literal contempt for yourself. What the hell was wrong with me? How could I be grinning like a Cheshire cat sitting next to this person? How didn't I see what was happening? Some folks will say they were almost angrier at themselves for that big cheesy grin than they were at the narcissistic person in that picture. But in most of these cases, that picture may very well have been taken before you understood what was happening, or you saw it, or you learned about it. On the day that picture was taken, maybe it was love. It did feel like happiness, perhaps. Or you might have been smiling through the pain, which is also a strong possibility. But don't let those past memories or pictures fuel your anger at yourself. That self-anger is something that really holds back healing. For a time, yeah, if you were in love, it was love. Then you got more data, and hell, it may still be love, but a different kind of love, a sort of more informed, circumspect, loss of innocence kind of love. Lots of people out there still love the narcissistic people who are in their lives. That doesn't make you foolish. It's only a problem, though, if you think that they're going to change. These relationships already leave you doubting enough about yourself. Don't let them result in you doubting experiences that for a time were very real for you. And getting into a debate about whether the narcissistic person loved you, well, that just breaks your heart more. It means something different to them, but that doesn't negate something that you experienced. A big part of healing is to stop continuing to berate yourself the way they berated you. Just because the sun is out today doesn't mean it didn't rain yesterday. So was it love? You felt it? That made it so. Doesn't matter in some ways what they were doing, who they are. You felt something. Did they love you? That becomes an issue of semantics. It means something very different to narcissistic folks. They believe it, and in a way, we don't get to doubt that because that's sort of a gaslight. It may not feel like love to you, and you may say to yourself, I never want to be in a relationship with someone who thinks this is love, and that's fine. But if it felt like love to you, then it was. Thanks again.